Hello everyone, welcome back to my Unreal Engine open world tutorial series. So as you know, I was working on this procedural level generation tool with this spline based procedural level generation tool in previous episodes. So yeah, and today I'm going to improve this like this. So the main shortcoming I had in the previous version was I can place them like this, but I can't select individual objects and do modifications. But I'm going to fix it in this episode. So as you can see here, when I press this start editing button, now I can select these individual objects and do any kind of edit I need. If I want, I can delete them too, rotate them, or do any by hand modifications that I want to do that I can't do with the procedural tool. And then now these are static meshes, but then when I press this finish editing button, now again they are converted back to instanced static meshes. Now they are good for performance and also like before. So this is what I am going to do today. As always, this episode is sponsored by these generous patrons. Thank you very much for the support you guys are giving me. Alright, so now that we have the editor utility widget in place, and also now I need this is my plan. When I start editing, when I press start editing of this after selecting this procedural object, then I'm going to convert these instanced static meshes to normal static meshes and place them in the level editor in the level, and then I would be able to select them and do the necessary changes. Then after that I'm gonna add another button called finish editing. Then I will get the rotations, locations and all the changes from that edited set of objects, edited set of static meshes, and then again convert them into instanced static meshes. I hope that is clear. Right, let's add another button. I'll call it PTN finish edit. Okay, now this is the start editing. So yeah, this is not what I want to do. Get the first element and let's see if I can cast to procedural object. So this will work only for procedural objects. If this is successful, I'll promote this to a variable. I'll call it procedural object. Okay, now I need a way to access the instances of each of these hierarchically instanced static mesh. So I think I need another element here. Yeah, I'll call it HISM. Stands for hierarchically instanced static mesh component. Object reference. Okay. Now I need to set the member, this member, with the one I create. So well, we can do it like this. Get the current one and set members. I'm going to set this one HISM. With the one we create here. Alright, but before that I need to make sure that I already do not have a valid reference here. Let's see. Is valid. We can check it like this. If this is not valid, we have to do this. Otherwise, we don't have to create element. Don't have to do this part. We can use the HISM that we already have. Like this. Set HISM current with this one. Right, that's all. Okay, let's see if everything is still working. Yeah, it is working fine. Okay, now by accessing the HISM variable of these procedural elements, I can access each instance like this. Let's go to Procedural Editor. Yeah, after we get this, get procedural elements, and for each procedural element let me split this. We can do a for loop here, another for loop, first index is 0 and the last index is instance count. Well, last index should be 1 less than the instance count. Okay, now in the loop body I can get instance transform. Index is this index and the world space, and then spawn object, spawn actor from object. So as the object I am going to use this element mesh. Location is this one and the rotation is this one, but why don't we have the scale here? Okay, let's set the scale later like this. And well, I need to hold the instances, references to these instances. So for that I'll add another variable here. Well, let's just call them actor. This should be in the type of array. And the element we add in is this one, right? So after adding all these instances, creating all the static mesh objects, I'm going to get this HISM and delete, no, clear instances. Well, not here, here. Okay, well, what happened now? Okay, I just had to compile this again after the changes here. Right, now let's test what we developed. Run the procedural editor like this, and I'll select this one. Now as you can see here, I can't select these individual objects because they are instances of the same instanced static mesh. So I have selected this one now, and I'll press this start editing. Okay, now you can see I can edit and modify each individual object. That's because they are converted into static meshes. Now the first part is done. Now, well, still I have to convert them back to instances, because otherwise we will have a performance problem. So, well, I can't delete them all, so I'll just reload the level. Okay, now again they are instanced static meshes. Cool. Now let's go back to our procedural editor, and then let's work on the other button, finish editing. Let's create the event. Okay, so when I press the finish editing, to finish editing I should have, well, initially this button should be disabled. Right, yeah, so first I need to have a procedural object. Let's see if it is valid. Okay, then just like before, get all procedural elements, and for each procedural element let me split this. Add instance. Now we have an array of edit instances. So here also let's do a for each loop is valid. We can check an is valid node here. If it is valid, get transform. Get actor transform, and with that add instance. Add instance in world space using this one as the transform. Right, and after everything is done, set procedural object to nothing. That means I'm clearing it out. Alright, this should do it. Right, let's see. Okay, select this one, start editing. Now I'll delete this one and make this a little larger. Make this one rotate like this and delete this one here. Okay, now I'll finish editing. Well, I still have these static meshes. No, it didn't work. Well, I forgot something. I have to delete destroy these actors also. Also, I'll set the initial visibility of this finish edit button to hidden, and I will make it visible only after I have started editing something. Set visibility to visible here again, and then I'll make the start editing to invisible. I'll make it hidden, and I will make it, oh, I should do it here. And I should do the reverse here. Finish edit must be again hidden and the other one visible. Compile, save. Well, now the first part works perfectly. When I start editing, they all are converted to normal static meshes, but it seems the second part, which is finish editing part, is not working. That's because I don't have valid references here. I'm not sure why that happens though. So when I press finish editing, nothing happens. They are not converted back to normal static meshes. But yeah, since this episode is getting too longer, I think I'll stop this session at this point, and I'll continue from this point in the next episode. And if you would like to support my work, you can get the membership of my Patreon club. Link would be in the description below.